So it's hours and hours and hours later, and finally done with the easy part. Okay, so I got this first section of wire done. This took forever, maybe a couple hours, I think. Couldn't find anything, and trying to figure out just how you're gonna do this. So I found a short section of wire separate from the main stuff I was going to use. So that's the same gauge. So this one's going to go from the terminal to this fuse. So I'm going to leave the fuse where it is. I think the wire in here is the same jumper cable bullshit that's not going to, maybe it's going to cause too much resistance. So this one should be better. So that'll fit there perfectly. I'm going to use the same fuse. I have a million of these fuses that I've bought, but I have no idea where they're at. I can't find anything right now that I need. So it's got to be in here somewhere, because they were in the other one and I moved everything over here. So it's not like they could be anywhere besides here. I have no idea where they're at. So then I took one of the 6-foot sections. I wasn't sure how far this would go. So this will go to this end of the fuse. It's going to be routed back, just same place where the other one was. It's going to follow the same path, go straight down, and then that's where I had to connect the black one. And that's where things started getting tricky, because I wasn't sure where it was going to connect. So if it doesn't go down far enough, then there's going to be no room down there, even if I access it from the wheel well to bolt that thing together and do everything I need to do. So I had to first stick it down there, see how far it actually went, and then once I got an idea, then I realized that yeah, there was going to be no room. So I had to pull it all the way back up, but it only went so far because it's tucked behind this thing, so it bends around that. So it only came up to about maybe right here. So I had to bolt them together down in this mess of shit. I put some heat shrink on there. I pulled out the propane torch to shrink this stuff down, but then I remembered that I own a heat gun and I've got power coming out of my ceiling. So I used the heat gun, wrapped that with tape so it actually was nice and secure, and then that goes down there. That came out. The bolt is right in, you can actually see it right here. There's the electrical tape. There's the connection, so it actually connected right here, and then from there I routed it over or behind this shock and right into the hole. That hole that goes into the floorboard right above the shock. So then it comes out right there. So that's the hole it's coming out of. There's the top of the shock. And so this is where I'm going to stop, because I'm running out of time. And for some reason, when I lifted up this rubber floor mat, like there was all kinds of moisture right here. And I feel a little bit of moisture, I think, underneath this mat too. Not above it, but below. So this whole rubber piece was covered with moisture. There's a little bit damp right here. And it feels damp just a little bit under here, which is really, like, I can feel it. That kind of boggles my mind, because I have no idea where that would be coming from. Like, where on earth, like, why would I get moisture right there? And wouldn't running the heater, because I've been running the heater, like, wouldn't that dry that out? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to hook up my diesel heater today. So I actually got diesel in the tank. The tank is hooked back up. I just need to prime the system so the fuel can get through the fuel lines, which takes a bit of time. And then I think once I start using that diesel heater, that should dry stuff like this out. So this is gonna stay here. Probably just tuck this on the side for now. I'm gonna have to finish the next section tomorrow. So the next section, I have no idea actually where this is gonna go. Most likely, I would think I'm gonna try and route it to the side, behind maybe this, underneath this step panel here, and then straight back behind the couch. There's a million other wires, and then the hard part will be somehow accessing the stinger, which is right about somewhere right in here. And then once I do that, I actually found another section of wire, so I should have plenty of wire, so I don't have to cut any of this stuff that I bought. I can just bolt it together. I was afraid I was gonna have to cut some small sections for the fuse and the stinger, but because I found a couple other sections of wire laying around, you know, I'm not gonna have to do that. And so this may be a couple more days worth of work. If I'm doing just one, maybe tomorrow I'll do everything behind the couch up to the stinger, and then the next day I'll tackle that stinger, because I'm going to have to pull a bunch of shit out of the back. I have a feeling, like the charge controller and I don't know what else, just to get access to that thing. So but that's just the way it goes. There's no way around it that I know of when you're doing this kind of custom bullshit. So but at least this part's done. Okay, so I decided to actually route this through this piece of rubber. So I just made a little cut right there, because I don't know how else to, like, if I take it on the outside, then it's going to be really hard to seal, and it may be hard to get this rubber back in anyways. But the thought was, if I can take it through this rubber and get the rubber back into the spot it's supposed to be in, then I can just use some glue or rubber cement or something around there, to just some silicone, you know, anything like that would seal that up and make it airtight and watertight and all that kind of stuff, just in case. So I'm gonna feed this section through and then move on to the next section. Okay, so I'm going to take it behind this panel. I think I'll have room to take it all the way underneath here. I don't think this is going to get in the way of anything, especially with this thing being here. This thing sticks out quite a bit, so that tells me that I should have clearance back here for that thing, or down here or something. Man, that is dirty. And then it's going to go straight back through there. Okay, so now I'm going to take this extra cable that I found, which is the same size, same gauge, and it's pure copper. I'm going to cut this end off that I don't need. I'm going to splice on another end like that, so it'll bolt to the other one. I don't know. I was going to use a hacksaw, but I may see if that reciprocating saw will cut through this. I'm not really sure. Definitely be a lot less work. I feel like either of these would do the job, but I think I'm going to try this one first. I feel like that might do the job faster, so we'll go with this guy. Alright, that was way better than the hacksaw. which would have took me like 10 minutes. I never cut through this kind of cable, so I just didn't know what to expect. So yeah, this is copper, so this will do the job I need. So I'm gonna get another connector on this thing and put this wire in. Okay, so now I've got it under and behind the couch, fed through here. So it's going to run with the rest of these wires below the couch and then go all the way back. It'll go behind the refrigerator and up, and that stinger is like kind of right behind the refrigerator, just past. So I think I have enough wire to go from here all the way to there, and then I'll go ahead and start disassembling the stuff in the back to get to that stinger and hopefully finish this up. Okay, so it's hours and hours and hours later, and finally done with the easy part. So now I'm gonna hopefully have enough time to tear into this, see if I can get access to this stinger. I don't know what's going on back there. I think there might be another fuse. I got to figure out what wires go where. The hardest part is just going to be, I think, getting a wrench back there and getting the old wire off and the new wire on. But then once that's done, it's just a matter of connecting the stinger to, I think it's going to be straight to this terminal, and then should be done. The front battery is already got the wire connected there, so should just be one more wire. It's a matter of getting access to that stuff back there, and this thing will be completely done. Okay, so I found it by taking out the charge controller. It is right down here where this red wire is, and then this other one over here. And there's also a fuse right here, which I forgot was back there. And so I think what is happening here is the main wire goes into the stinger. It's one of those two red ones, I don't know which one it is, and then the other side goes into this fuse, and then the fuse comes back and comes into here. And so I'm not sure if I need this fuse or not, because I also have another fuse at the battery. So I'm not really sure what the point of having the two fuses was. I don't know why I put that in there. But I might just skip it for right now, just because, I don't know, maybe a time factor to get access to that other fuse would be challenging. And I don't know if I have an extra wire also. Like, I know I could have one. I'll have one that could go, if I connect to the stinger, I'll have a wire that can make it to the fuse, but then I don't know if I have another wire that will make it from this fuse all the way to here. Because, let's see, actually no, I think I do. Because all it would take is the main wire, say that's this one, then a second wire from here to the fuse, and then I have that short wire, and then the red wire will go from the other side of the fuse to this. So I guess I do have the wire. Maybe I'll see if I can get access to that fuse. Right now I'm trying to get these two wires off. They're just so far down there, so I'm going to use this 25-foot long extension on this socket here and see if I can figure out which one is which, and then I'm gonna connect my other wire, which is ran from the front, which is here, and so that goes all the way from the front. It'll go to one of those sides on the stinger, whichever side I figure out has the other side from the front. Maybe I'll see if I can connect the other side to the fuse, if I can get access to it, and then this final red cable will go from the other side of the fuse all the way around to the charger, and then that should wrap up this project. Okay, so the light's on, it is working. It has a fault light. I can't tell if that's a fault light or if it's just a... Oh no. I mean, it shows up on the camera, but when I'm looking at it without the camera, it looks very, very faint. So I can't tell if that's actually on or if it's... I can't tell what the deal is. It is charging. I'm getting an, I don't know, 300 some watts. Yeah, why is that light on? I can't tell if that's a light or if that's just... Oh well. So I bypassed the fuse just because I couldn't get in there. So maybe I'll do that another day when it's the beginning of the day and I got more time. But for right now, it seems like it's working. I got wattage coming out of there. The stinger is working. It's not powering the unit when the ignition's off, which is what it's supposed to do. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that fault light and just also see if this thing powers off by itself for any reason. It's on the lowest setting for 30 amps. So the alternator should be able to handle that, and if it does and this works, then that's great. So this took a long time, 6 months. Finally, after buying the thing, I've got it working properly, so I guess it's not bad actually for me. So I'm gonna wrap this one up.